Hi, my name is Jennifer Sin. I am the co-chair of the Schoeneck King Hospitality and Tourism Practice Group. I represent many clients in the hospitality industry, and I work with my clients on all sorts of liquor licensing matters. For many of my clients, their liquor license is a key revenue driver, so it's very important that they stay in compliance with all of the rules of the New York State Liquor Authority so they don't face any disciplinary actions or fines, so they can promptly renew their licenses when it's time to do that. And most importantly, so they don't put their license in jeopardy of being suspended or revoked. And for my clients who are breweries, wineries, cideries, distilleries, or wholesalers, they also have to worry about staying in compliance with the federal rules at the TTB level as well. So today I wanted to bring up a very common issue that I come across, which can cause very big problems for my liquor licensing clients, and that is corporate changes. I often get calls from clients who are in the process of renewing their liquor license and they're running into a delay, they're running into problems with the liquor authority, they're not going to get the renewal on time because they haven't reported corporate changes at the time those things happened. So clients can also face penalties and other issues for failing to report corporate changes at the appropriate time. So I recommend to any business that holds its liquor license in the name of a corporation or an LLC, and most businesses do, you need to be very aware of who your principals are. Those are the individuals you would have reported to the liquor authority. And if you're a manufacturer or wholesaler, those that you would have reported to the TTB. If you don't recall who those individuals are, you can go to the New York State Liquor Authority website, go to public query, search your license, and those individuals' names will be listed. And at the TTB level, you can log into your online account with the TTB and check that as well. So generally speaking, at the New York State level, if your LLC or corporation has less than 10 owners, every owner is going to be listed as a principal. If you have more than 10 owners, then only those owning more than 10% of the entity are generally principals. However, any officer or director is also going to be a principal, even if they own less than 10% of the company. So if you have any change in principals, you're required to file a corporate change application with the New York State Liquor Authority before you make the change. So if you're removing a principal, you're going to need to document their removal. If they've sold their ownership interest, you'd need to provide the liquor authority a copy of the sale agreement. If the individual was resigned or was removed as an officer or director, you would need to provide proof of that, a copy of resignation letter or corporate minutes or action of a written action for an LLC. If you're bringing in a new principal, if you have less than 10 current owners and this new principal is going to be an owner, if you have less than 10 currently, the new owner is going to be reported as a new principal. If you currently have more than 10 owners and the new owner will own less than 10% of the company, you may not have to report them as a new principal, but you should confirm that with your legal counsel. If you're adding a new officer or director, you're going to need to report that individual as a new principal and provide documentation about their appointment. The new principal is also going to need to sign a personal questionnaire form, which you can find on the Liquor Authority's website. They're also going to need to give you a color photo of themselves, a copy of a photo ID, and proof of U.S. citizenship or permanent resident immigration status. So at the TTB level, if you're a manufacturer or wholesaler, whether you need to report a new owner is going to depend on whether your entity is a corporation or an LLC. So the federal regulations state that if you're bringing in a new officer or director, that needs to be reported. If you are a corporation and you are bringing in a new owner of more than 10%, it has to be reported. If there's no similar limitation regarding LLCs, however, so at the federal level, if you are bringing in a new member of an LLC, they're going to have to be reported as a new principal, even if they own less than 10% of the LLC. So when you're bringing in a new principal, you're going to want to be very cautious to make sure that that new principal is not a prohibited person. And generally speaking, a prohibited person would be someone who is under the age of 21, someone who's not a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, someone who's a police officer or police official, or someone who has a prior felony conviction or certain other enumerated criminal convictions. And a prohibited person can also be somebody who's going to cause you to have a tied house issue. The tied house rules, generally speaking, prohibit someone from being a principal of both a retail licensee, such as a hotel, a restaurant, a bar, and a wholesaler or manufacturer licensee. So as I noted earlier, you are required to apply for the corporate change before you bring in the new principal. And if you don't do that, you can face disciplinary charges, penalties, and it also is likely to cause a delay in renewing your liquor license when that time comes. So in conclusion, you should be aware of who your principals are. Keep that in mind. Be aware of when you are changing your principals, and you're going to want to make sure that you submit any necessary changes to the New York State Liquor Authority and, if applicable, the TTB as well. And thank you very much.